Hello, Gorringes are on view, this time for our sale on the 19th of September. We're going to play What's in the Warehouse and have a little wander around. All sorts of curiosities here this week. We see a lot of these, everywhere else, lot 1119. These are bronze models of cranes, probably from China or somewhere similar. They're a good size though.
They are.
Unusually big and rarely particularly expensive. Stick it down in the garden, look quite striking. Or if not, how about this pot? Nice big olive oil jar there, lot 1120. We had one of these last week, I think did very good, made about £700 or so. This one's not quite as big as that one, but still should be about sort of 400 or 500 or so. Modern mid-century, this 1122, look at this funky fabric.
It's great fabric.
A little bit faded down the back there, but it's unusual, a revolving chair. That's what I said. And on top of this sort of funky chest, we have 1123. Nice pair of carved and gilt wood lamp bases. These have come from a property in the south of France, which has been emptied and put in a lorry and brought up here. All sorts of things from that. They've had some damage over the years. They've been off at the ankles, but they're not of huge age either. But you can still see the metal fittings are relatively modern, but they've got a nice look to them. Nice pair.
Another jar.
Another nice jar.
Yeah.
1125. God, jars galore. Some planters. A whopping great oak cupboard. Back in for the second time. Not too surprisingly, because it's just so big that not everybody can accommodate such a piece. But nice colour to it. Carving's okay, and commodious should you require one.
It certainly is.
Certainly is. You liked these, didn't you?
Yes, I
Yours
do.
are tucked away in the corner here, next
pretty.
to this funny little bookcase. There we are, lot 1129. Sort of painted hardwood. I think that's teak, so it's suggesting they might be Indian with the metal bars. If you've got the right space for them, they probably go in the garden because they won't rot in a hurry if they're made of teak. They'll last for ages. Then we slip down the line of brown things, of linen presses. There's a bow front example. And now the client emailed me about this, and he said, he said the keys in the top drawer. No, he didn't. He did say there's was it about this one? Perhaps it's about another one. Either way, there's a lovely bow front chest there. Just needs a little bit of work. Lot 1026. This is a. Well, that's unusual, isn't it?
Pretty.
I wasn't going to say what it was. I was going to get it wrong. So this, when we see this type of marquetry, we think Dutch. And generally speaking, you think there's going to be a card table or some such. So there we go. We have a sort of effectively like a dressing table with, interestingly, these are sprung. They've gone in, the little springs holding those, so you're going to almost get a soft close effect. And then this nice parquetry interior. So that's a bit different, isn't it?
Isn't it?
With a drawer. Lot 1026. There we go. That's a modest surprise. Carrying on, we looked at this. Lot 1066 and thought, what's that? Anyway, it says here it's an Eastern wooden birdhouse ?
It's quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is great fun, isn't it? It's definitely. Is that hardwood? Yeah, I think that's a kind of teak again. It's the teak show here. Is it oak? Looking a bit like oak, actually. Anyway, great fun.
Leaves a little bit of TLC, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But what are you going to do to it? It's been.
Well, there's what's
like
this?
cement. That's lead.
Lead. I thought it
Lead.
was.
So yeah, interesting. Probably completely wrong what we said about it. I don't think that's Eastern.
But what's fantastic is
might
that
be oak.
we do get told.
Fortunately, yes, our viewers are more intelligent than we are.
Yes.
It's not hard. 1066,
right.
speak for myself anyway. Carrying on down here from the French property, lot 1042, this bust of Beatrice, after the sort of 16th century original or 15th century. We've got some nice garden benches, pair of them, lot 1022, still in good solid condition. Carrying on line, sofas as always, whole selection. Now, chest of drawers.
These are really pretty.
These are really pretty.
Yeah.
So we start with 1011. 1011, let's have a look. What's nice about this? Well, diminutive size, lots of drawers, sort of collector's size, and just really honest, nice condition. A little bit faded on the top, but an even colour. These handles and the general air and flavour of construction would suggest round about 1800, perhaps slightly later,
Original
but not
handles?
a lot. Original handles,
Oh, nice.
original locks, pine lining to the drawers, not oak, which you often see. And I guess, yeah, a collector's chest for eggs or something similar back in the day. Still, rather nice. Next to it, another nice chest of drawers. Look at the colour on that.
That's really...
Super dark and rich.
Yeah.
So we like the size. Look at that. Is that under 30 inches? I think it is. It looks like 28, which back in the day, many, many years ago, would have got lots of people very excited one that size.
Why?
The brushing, because it's so small.
Oh, okay.
And then it's got this caddy top, this sort of smoothly rounded off corners. Let's have a look in a drawer. We've got oak lining. It looks like we've got original handles, we've got original locks, we don't have a key as usual.
And what wood is this?
This is mahogany,
Price.
darkest mahogany.
And why is it so dark? Has it been coloured or
No, I don't
treated in
think
any
it's
way?
been coloured. I think if anything it hasn't bleached and maybe it has blackened a little from something. I don't quite know what.
Looks
The
nice.
brushing slide is jammed in place and appears to have had 3 pulls to it at some time. But overall, it's an absolute cracker. You've got a patent stamp on that lock that might be slotted in a bit later, but still, that is a good looking chest of drawers. That, I still think, could be looking at £1,000 or more.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah,
Gosh.
that's a really nice chest of drawers.
Fantastic.
And, let's just check the nose. Yep, from the same ownership.
That one
Have
too?
they all, yeah, they've all
Uh-huh.
come from the same ownership.
Oh, there we go.
Arguably, these could have gone in the fine sale, these two. So, this next one here, serpentine chest of drawers, always desirable for being serpentine. It's more complicated to make that front than it is to make a flat front. The sides are ever so slightly curling outwards, ever so slightly serpentine at the front.
Yep.
So they haven't quite got the serpent of the top, but they do curl outwards. We're carved with bell husks down the front, and they're nice big chunky bell husks, which suggests that they are period rather than the sort of meaner little Edwardian ones. In the drawer, divided in the top, loosely divided. Locks look original. Handles, no, handles are not original. We can just see a little plug there. Can you see? There was an oval and there's a square hole, and here there's an oval and there was a square hole, artfully concealed, but they can't trick us all the time.
Oh, I did say to you I didn't like the handles so much.
Colour's not bad. Do like the feet. Look at this, fancy bracket feet carved. So, smart chest of drawers. Again, I think we're looking at about £1,000 or so there. So 3 rather nice chest of drawers, all in a row. You have to come and look in the warehouse. You can't assume that it's only full of old rubbish, even though sometimes it does include some old rubbish. Over here, give this a promotion. It's a re-offer. It didn't go the first time. £10.91. I just like the plain finish to the front. I quite enjoy this carving. It's dated 1812. No reason to think that's not correct. In fact, it's probably later carved in 1812 and is actually a bit older than that. The lid is not attached, which isn't going to help its chances. So you might want to invest in some new hinges for it, and that probably explains why it's still with us and looking for another owner. Finally, chest of drawers we've talked about. How about this one?
Not finally. What about that?
Let's talk about this fountain.
Well,
From the property in southern France. Gentleman had it, he was going to use it by swimming pool. You could come out and wash your hands in it, he said, which
it's interesting.
it provokes thoughts that one might have used it for something else. It's very much the French model, isn't it? With these 3 sort of drippy spouts dropping into the basin. It comes apart like a sort of Lego set. Lot 1095. I think the estimate's 300 to 500. Apparently made by one of the preeminent stonemasons in that part of France, but there we go.
There we are.
Might suit somebody.
Right.
And yes, from the same property, lot 1090, this rather splendid nest or rack of apothecary's drawers. So lots of them, good size. The labels, some of them may have been a bit refreshed, but I think actually some of them have been changed over the years. But broadly speaking,
66
all
drawers.
looks good. Is that how many it is?
Yeah.
Wow. So
you could make it
that's
like
gonna
an
be
advent calendar,
That's a good
couldn't you?
1,000, 1,500, probably a bit more. Everybody wants them, don't know why. You put something in the drawer, you think, where did I put it? Unless, of course, you put what it says on the label, in which case you know where to find your Sago and your blue number 3. And blue number 1 for that matter. So there we go, all great fun. Lots of other great things over here to come and have a look at. You know, there's things like this. There we go. Oh, look at that. There we go. It's great fun.
Yeah.
It's a watchmaker's sign outside his shop.
Fantastic.
No, you're shaking your head. You don't like it.
I don't like it.
No taste
But
whatsoever.
somebody will.
So there
I'm
we
sure.
go. Anyway, all sorts of goodies. We'll go and have a quick look there. Perhaps we'll go and see what the jury's up to this week.
Yeah, let's go and find Rog.
All right, go on. Okay, so here we are in the smalls room. All sorts of interesting bits and pieces to look at. But
You
we're
just
going to.
found.
Well, I was looking at that large cast iron.
Yes,
cookbook
I
stand
like that.
You described it as.
Yeah,
Perfect for TV kitchens.
for TV kitchens.
Well, you know, all these like Saturday morning cook shop or whatever it is.
Lot 1407.
The one with no Leadmans
Yes.
cooking buns.
Anyway, back to your silver.
Back to the silver and jewellery department, which we had a little rummage through and found some interesting things.
Yes.
In reverse order of more or less. 1816, what could this be? It screws up, it unscrews, and what you get are a pair of travelling candlesticks. Apparently known as a Brighton bun. Don't quite know why.
There we are.
They've got some age. I would say these could well be early-ish 19th century. So they're sort of heading sort of near Sheffield Plate era, but perhaps they're electro, which puts them a bit later. Anyway, rather fun that. They collapse down. That has an estimate of 100 to 150 pounds.
Stuff.
For something a little more elegant, perhaps.
Oh,
How about this?
yeah, I like this.
1821.
This is so pretty.
So this is a scent bottle. And it's nicely made and it's very solid. It may have had a stopper, but it did have cork inside the lid that would keep it sealed, so it probably didn't need a stopper. It's been described as hard stone. This could actually be Connemara marble, but who am I to know? But anyway, it's by good maker Sampson Morden, who made all those little propelling pencils and things like that. Churned out all sorts of nice little pockety bits and pieces, and it is dated from 1890, London 1890. Sampson Morden, good maker, condition looks pretty good. If you have the initials MEG, it's an added bonus. 200 to 300 estimate. Over the back here, 1810, Victorian silver. This sort of serving knife and fork, lovely casting and an unusual model to see that sort of Venus pattern. And what's really nice is the way the vines come down and form the tines of the fork. Look,
yes.
you turn it over and it's done in the round and it's nicely hallmarked everywhere. Nice. Which is 1871 and 1875, so a few years apart, but clearly all made to go together. And the silversmith probably just, or the retailer put them together and didn't care to check that the dates were exact. Estimate 70 to 100. Something Scottish. How about this? This is 1817, and it is Glasgow hallmarked for 1900, so just late Victorian. So it's a cake, or however one would pronounce it, cake. And interestingly, this is inscribed squab, and I think squab is a drink of some form. And then, more confusingly, after that, it says AS and possibly I, so I'm not quite sure what's
So
going on.
actually, it's an old shot glass.
In a way, it's a drinking, yeah, absolutely. Roger's suggesting possibly sycamore, because I think a lot of them were made of such timber. Rather fun, nice little bit of Scottish antiquary. Just an estimate of 80 to 120, so not too expensive there. And lastly, in the silver section, 1806. How about that for a desk seal?
She's great.
She's good, isn't she? Really nicely cast. Now, when you see such crisp sort of casting, you think, well, that's probably not English, and sure enough, it's not, but it's fully import marked. Bernard Muller, who must have import marked half the silver from Germany and Holland and what have you, but it's got the English hallmarks, import marks alongside it, dated 1901, so bang on for that sort of Art Nouveau look. Estimate 1 to 150. I'd say that's very good value if you can buy it for that. There's a nice English crest at the base, as you see.
Quite well, yeah.
Yep, good. So yeah, nice thing that. So from one seal to another into the jewellery section, 1942. 2, I believe. Do you think that's a 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1942. That is an intaglio seal that probably didn't start life in this ring mount. But if can you pick up what's on it?
I can, yeah.
Great. So there we go. So that's inscribed in French. Nul plaisir sans pain. No pleasure without bread is not what it means. No pleasure without pain. Not pain. Anyway, quite fun that. And there's, I'm going to turn it around and look at, there's a Cupid and he's plucking a heart from a thorny bush.
Yeah. But you see, I think it's been mounted into a ring because then she can give him a whack. No pleasure without pain.
Yeah, heat it up.
Yeah.
Then you could sort of brand. I love that you love that.
Yes.
1891. Let's do some diamonds. Let's talk about diamonds.
Yes,
1890. Well, not very big diamonds,
no,
but
still, it's
you know,
a great start.
Cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
Nice little pair of studs there. They
Yes.
are each approximately 0.25 carats, and the
Nice.
estimate is 200 to 300. Nice and cleanly mounted in, imagine, white gold.
We don't always want great big diamonds.
No, we don't.
Some of us ladies have 2 or 3 piercings in our ears, and the higher you go, the smaller the diamond you need.
There you go. And
So there we are.
You could incorporate lot 1894 as well then.
Yes, exactly.
For those
Get
emerald cut, as in rectangular cut
Yeah.
diamonds, which Roger says are approximately 0.35 carats each. A little bit more, 350 to 400 estimate. Again, nicely mounted white gold.
Yep.
Then how about some emeralds? 1890 and 1895.
They're pretty, aren't they?
They are pretty rings. They really glow, those stones, don't they? Those green emeralds. Set in yellow gold, which always works quite well with the emerald. Now, emeralds, natural emeralds, but they're pretty well all heat treated and oiled to bring out their glow and attractiveness, and that's very standard practice for many years. But they are genuine, real emeralds. They're not synthetics or anything like that, so it's perfectly standard. So anyway, this one here, which perhaps is a little more modest, has got 180 to 220 as an estimate, and 1890 has 250 to 300 as an estimate. Yes. Still on rings. We'll go over here. Lot 1910. How about that for a really useful
engagement ring?
Engagement ring.
Yes. Engagement
ring. If you want to get engaged, this could be the ring for you. And it's a nice mount, isn't it? Look, these little brilliants set into the shoulders and a bit of piercing and what have you. It was purchased from the Diamond Store, no less, and comes with a Gemological Institute certificate. Look at that.
Gosh, yes.
So these sort of certificates come from various people, and some certificates have more respect than others. And what they do is they have fully analysed the stone. And so they'll put little dots and specks where they think there are flaws in the stone, if there are any. And then they will also comment on colour and clarity and what have you. So this is saying that stone weighs half a carat. It's got a colour of E and a clarity of VS2. So
colour E is...
Colour E is pretty good, because D is the bestest. There we are. Look, here's the scale. D to Z. Z is not a good stone.
No.
D is flawless.
Wow.
So E is really pretty good.
Yes.
Clarity, flawless, and then internally flawless, and then running very slightly included, slightly included, and imperfect.
Right.
We have other words for imperfect, but
yeah.
Generally speaking, if you're starting with a V, it's not too bad. This is a VS2, so it's down the end of the V scale. And colours as well. We're talking here about colourless, near colourless, faint yellow, very light yellow, and then we have other terminology we sometimes use outside of the technical terms for the darker stones.
Yes, that's my favorite.
So there we go. That's a lovely certificate there. I think it cost about £4,000 retail, but you know,
it does look nice on the front.
As we know, it's not the same when you come to auction. No. So estimate there, £600 to £800. But nice thing that. If you didn't want a ring but you wanted a pendant, you could come along and look at lot 1896, which shows there.
It's a good size, isn't it?
It is a good size, isn't it?
I think that's a carat, isn't it?
You're absolutely correct. Yes. It's a carat.
But it is a little bit yellow.
Is it?
Yeah.
So, well, this is rather handy in a way, because look, we can compare the two, can't we? And we know that this one is certificated.
Yes, I'm not sure I can get it.
And this one is not.
Yeah.
But yes, it's hard when it's in that mount and everything as well. It doesn't make it easiest. But anyway, it is drawing a little bit of colour. So if we were looking at that scale, I guess we'd be saying that it was nearer the very light yellow. It's a sort of, perhaps we're looking at an SI1 or VS2. It's sort of, you know, a very light yellow, but then, yeah, then we're looking at inclusions. Well, Roger will grade it. I'm sure he'll get a request and he'll grade it on the website. But still, it's a carotid diamond on a nice chain with a nice white gold mount, ready to go. Estimate 8 to 1200. So again, seems pretty good value to me. So there we go. All sorts of goodies. Oh, you want the watch?
Yes, please.
Here's something. If you're going out to a black tie dinner, perhaps, it's the few occasions where one might wear a dress watch. And this is a Longines. It's 18 karat gold. Hasn't been engraved or anything on the back. It is it going? It doesn't want to wind. No, it needs some attention. It's not, it's overwound or what have you, but there is a problem. It's not going. So we'll need some work. Estimate there, £400 to £600. Can't be too bad, even if it needs some work. So there we go, all things are allowed for. So do come along and have a look. Again, this is another interesting sale with all sorts of bits and pieces. We look forward to the fine sale coming up after this one. So we'll be talking to you about that.
There's one more after that, but anyway, yes.
Is there? But this is the 19th.
Okay.
And then the
Fine sale's the
26th. And the fine sale is the 27th.
Okay.
So it will be coming up soon. Excellent. Good. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy. Come along and view the sale. Have a look online. Send us questions. Ask for more photos. And we look forward to seeing you on the day. Thank you.